Hi guys, Night Train Lane here, and today we're gonna be talking about our Week 6 buy reviews. I know this is a little late, but I was kind of busy this week, so I had to talk about, I'll have to talk about this before the Week 6 week ends. Today is Monday, so let's get right to it. Last week we had a Week 5 buy with the Seahawks, Buccaneers, Chargers, and the Browns. Now, we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers. So let's start with Pittsburgh. So far, how Pittsburgh's been doing this within these past 5 weeks, it's been, what should I say, kind of what I expected. They always have a great defense. With TJ Watt, Heisby's been amazing. Those two guys together have just been amazing together. Steelers are probably have a top three, maybe the best defense in the league. They're definitely top three in my opinion. They're just able to change the game, impact it, and make big plays to the point that their defense can win you games. But when you go on the offensive side for the Steelers, it's been frustrating. Kenny Pickett doesn't look like he made that jump yet. George Pickens, he looks very good. He's not getting targeted enough. And it's just, Matt Canada, everyone wants to fire Canada, blame Canada, as they always say. And he's not doing well. He's not getting in the right personnel out there. He's not making the right play calls. It's just every Steeler fan's been wanting him out for a long time now. And it's just, I think if this season's not a winning season, we could see that happen. But otherwise, this offense is not really putting up points at all. They're only averaging like 15 points per game right now, which is not really that good when you think about it. But their defense has been very good. They have been, been able to turn over the ball, been able to make sure that offenses don't score. Like, their defense have won them games like they did against the Browns. The Steelers won the game because of their defense. And then they did it again against the Ravens, where the Steelers took over with their defense and won the game against the Ravens. Yes, the Ravens made some sloppy plays and kind of just shot themselves in the foot. But you got to give the credit to the Steelers defense for making those plays and making it hell for the Raven offense. But this offense for the Steelers, they just got to start clicking, because it's not just Matt Canada. I don't think people realize. Yes, Matt Canada is the big problem, but it's also the development of these offensive guys. We're not seeing any development from Kenny Pickett, any of the other wide receivers. Yes, I know Deontay Johnson got hurt, which sucks, but come on, you need other guys to step up when you stepped up. It's in the offensive line is okay, but this offense is just not getting any points. And they're not even getting in a position to get a field goal. Like, that's how bad it's been. And this can be the season where, yes, the Steelers, we know how Mike Tomlin is. He always has a winning record. They always find a way to win games. But this could be the season that if they don't fix up their offense, this could be the 8-9 actually losing record season for them. Because the whole division, from this past week, including this week, have won a game since their bye. Browns won a game, Bengals won a game, Ravens won a game. And this whole division is in it. Like, anyone can win a division right now. It's not just a dominated division. It's not just Steelers or Ravens, Steelers or Bengals, Steelers or Browns. It's everybody in the division. So they need to pick up things if they want to win this division or even get second place, because everyone's competing in this division. Everyone looks like they're good. And they just got to figure it out before it's too late. They got this bye. They can try to figure out what's going on with this offense. They're going to play the Rams upcoming Sunday, but this Steelers offense just got to get it together. They're not doing anything. I mean, anything. Like, I don't even know how many touchdowns the Steelers offense even have this season. Let's see, because I don't believe they've been doing pretty good with touchdowns. Like, I believe they only have, let's see. If you look at the stats, yes, they're 3-2. Right now, they are second in their division. And when you look at it, they only look. Their rushing yards are kind of overwhelming. They only have 402. That's not really that good. Their rushing's not that good. It's just overall, like, that's another thing I want to hop into. Najee Harris is not the way he developed. I know a lot of people are going to be like, what do you mean he's good? If you watch Steelers and you actually talk to some Steeler fans, I don't know if it's all of them, But they don't like Najee Harris. He's not that good. He doesn't block that well. He's just a big body that can't really do shit. His average yards per game is actually pretty bad. And if you look at his stats from a couple seasons, he had 1,000 yards, I believe, somewhere around like 1,200 yards his rookie year. That's not bad for a rookie. He only averaged 3.9 yards per carry. That's not bad. He's a rookie. He'll get better at it. Next year, his second year, he drops at the 3.8. Yeah, not that big difference, but it still is a decrease. And he only has 1,034 yards. I'm gonna have to double check that, but I know the yards decreased. This year, he has 63 carries for only 200 yards, I believe. Let me double check. I believe that's right. And you can't be like that, Najee. You got to play better. I know the past couple years, Steelers always had decent or good or eight running backs. They had Le'Veon Bell, James Conner played well with them. Even Benny Snell had a couple, good games. But when you look at his career, yes, it's only been 5 games this season, but he's only had 62 carries for 247 yards. You're only averaging a 3.9 carry. You haven't gotten any touchdowns, and your longest is only 24 yards. Like, what is happening? I know 3.9 is impressive. That's basically averaging 4 yards per carry, but you gotta understand that you got to be able to pick up yards. You got to be able to do more for your offense. And they haven't been able to run the football that well. I know they had that one game where Najee Harris did go off and had 71 yards. But other than that, he hasn't really done anything to impact the team. The pass game has not been there. I know receivers haven't really been getting open. Kenny Pickett hasn't really been making the throws. George Pickens is the only really one that's really good that can make big plays. They got to get these guys more opportunities, and the Steelers offense got to get going. Matt Cannon's got to make better play calls. The offensive guys need to step up, get open, make catches. Kenny Pickett's got to make better throws. He's got to be more decisive. He can't be playing mediocre, bad football. It's all just the offense improving. If this offense doesn't improve and get better as the season goes on, this can be a really bad thing and could be entering dark times. And also, Mike Tomlin might end up being in the hot seat after this season if they don't have a winning record. Because, to be honest, it's kind of been a while. Because Mike Tomlin's kind of in the... If you're a Steelers fan, you kind of know. You guys kind of been in the same position ever since, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell left? Since those two left, you kind of been in the same position. We are good enough to win, have a winning season. But we know we're going to be a first-round exit in the playoffs. It's been the same shit. And actually, I don't know if people know this, but Mike Tomlin actually has a losing record in the playoffs. He has a winning record. He never had a losing season in the regular season, but he's had a losing record in the playoffs. And I think that's something people should honestly pay attention to now, because it really shows you that this guy can't really elevate his team. But I get he hasn't had the greatest talent, but he had the talent. Like, his defenses have been amazing. He had some decent offense players that came out of Pittsburgh for a couple years, but they just gotta figure it out. I think that's the number one thing they gotta figure out, is find a way to improve that offense, make it much more efficient, make it much more better, make it much more impactful to the game. Because you're not gonna win games with just your defense, no matter how good your defense is. I don't care. It could be the 85 Bears, all right? But not in this league. That was a different time and era where a defense could be that dominant and take control and win games. We're in an era where offense is so high-powered and so good, and most of the great talent is on the offensive side. You're not going to win games with just having a great defense. Yeah, you can win a few, but you're not going to win it all the way to the playoffs. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with those. And you got to have an offense. You got to have some sort of an offense. I don't even care if it's a decent, bad. It's got to be some sort of offense. This offense just isn't clicking, and that's really concerning for the Steelers. So if I had to talk about the Steelers, the number one thing that they got to improve on is their offense. Their rookies, I believe his name is Joey Porter. I don't know why I'm forgetting, who the hell that is right now. I don't know why. Joey Porter Jr. Yes, I'm being so slow. He's been pretty decent. I haven't watched a lot of Steelers games, but when I watched the Steelers game, he looked pretty decent. He's playing pretty good football. He's playing pretty well. And it's just nice to know that this team is able to have a decent corner who's young and who can play good football and play against these good receivers. It's nice. I know a lot of people are like, We had a lot of like really good rookie secondary guys last year, but I don't expect that to happen this year. But Joey Porter hasn't been elite, but he definitely has been playing very good football. Because I don't think people realize that throughout his 5 games, he's playing great football. He's been targeted. I know he's been playing 76 snaps, right? Within these 5 games, he's been targeted 7 times. Not a lot. That's not a lot, but he's only allowed 1 reception for 12 yards, and he defended 2 of those and with 1 interception. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good for a rookie. I know he hasn't been targeted a lot. I know he hasn't versed like a really, really good receiver like guys like AJ Brown, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams. Uh, I know he hasn't versed anyone great like that yet, but this team with that rookie could definitely help in the long run. Just their future wise, like he's playing very good football for a rookie so far. And yes, he's had versed good quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, but until I see him verse a really good receiver, that's when we'll make the true judgment of how good this guy can be. But so far, he's been pretty good, impressive, and he's been a pretty good damn pick for the Steelers. I like that Joey Porter is playing this well. I like that he's doing this good, and it's really impressive that he's able to play this well in the NFL. You know how hard it is to play as a corner rookie? Very bad. You can be like Emmanuel Forbes. I know people are shitting him a lot. I haven't watched a lot of games, but I know a lot of people are shitting on him because how bad he's been playing, especially when he played DJ Moore and AJ Brown. But you kind of have to expect that, though. You know, these corners are young. They got to learn how to play. And it's hard, you know, for a lot of these rookies to just transition and be a big impact right away. Especially hard for the quarterback. You got to learn a lot how the defenses attack you. You got to learn how to read. You got to learn how to take in these new play calls. All of that. There's so much more that comes with it mentally, not just physically. You know, there's so much. Running backs, yeah, you don't have to do much, but you got to get used to, you know, you're not going to maybe not even going to get a good offensive line. So you got to learn how to deal with that. Like, there's so many situations that these rookies enter, and they're either good, bad, they're mid, or they just got to face these challenges, you know. So it's awesome to see that some of these rookies are doing well, that Joey Porter Jr. is one of them. But we'll see how the rest of the season goes for this team. I know the rest of their rookie class. I'm going to have to look into it right now. I know they got Broderick Jones. You know, so far, I haven't heard good things, you know. I know he hasn't really allowed much, but I know he hasn't really allowed much pressures, but I'm also hearing, I don't know if this is true or not, I have heard that he's somewhat okay, you know, but I think it's pretty good if you haven't allowed zero pressure. He's only been in one start, though. He's only been in one start in week 5. That was week 5 against the Ravens, right? And he does win. He is a good run blocker, but I got to see more from Broderick Jones. You know, he's just started one game, you know. Still, the Ravens defense, yeah, they're good, but they don't really have any dominant defensive linemen, so I need to see how he plays when he goes against dominant defensive linemen. I believe Aaron Donald. I haven't heard much about Aaron Donald. I got to check if he isn't injured or not, but I believe he is playing with the Rams right now. He's healthy, so that would be a good challenge for him. Broderick Jones, to me, has been decent. Keanu Benton, you know, I think he's gotten the most playing time out of all the rookies, you know, probably because obviously Cameron Hayward got hurt. He had a groin injury that'll take him out for 8 weeks. But to be honest, Keanu Benton, he has been playing pretty good. You know, he has a forced fumble, he has a sack, and he has 13 tackles within these 5 games. He's proven to be a good pick. So far, this defensive class, just within those two so far discussing, they look pretty damn good. You know, Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton have looked like they've been good picks. And it's really nice to see that they're playing very well. And I believe this Keanu Benton dude has a very high ceiling because he already looks like a veteran. He's already playing good football. And the fact that he's a D-tackle doing that is just amazing to see. Darnell Washington, he hasn't really popped off yet. He hasn't really looked like the guy that we saw in Georgia. You know, I know that he's a decent blocker, but I know he's already dealing with injuries. He's only had, one catch for 10 yards so far. We'll have to see more reps from him. Let's see more reps for him for me to make a full evaluation about Darnell Washington. But all I see right now is that he could be a decent blocker. I don't think he's going to be a pass-catching threat maybe later on in his career, but right now it just looks like he's going to be a really good blocker. But we're going to see more reps from him, more opportunities for him to see how he grows and become as a player for the Steelers offense. I believe he can be an important piece if things go right. But so far, down on Washington, he's been okay, but he definitely has been good for the block game. I will say that he has been pretty good for the block game, you know. So this rookie class for the Steelers, they don't look bad, you know. And I know Nick Herbie, he's been pretty decent. Corey Trice Jr., I haven't heard much about him. Same with Spencer Anderson, but the fact that they hit 3 of their guys who look pretty good or can be really impactful for them in the future, that's pretty impressive. You know, this team does look good, and it's just awesome that they honestly did pretty good on their draft class. So if I had to give the grade for their draft class, so far I'll give it a solid B. I'll give it a solid B. They drafted good, solid guys defensively, and they could have a future with all those guys who could potentially be Pro Bowlers, potentially be very impactful role players. They drafted some good guys. You know, it wasn't much players like the other teams have in the past that we talked about, but they definitely did a good job drafting the guys that they wanted. So Steelers, one thing I would say is that you need to get the offense figured out before you verse really good defensive teams where you can get screwed. So you just need to figure that out, and you guys could make the playoffs. Could you make a deep run? Depending if your offense can really become good, maybe. But I don't see you guys winning a Super Bowl. I think you guys should honestly just rebuild. You know, you guys kind of just been in the same position the past couple years, but what do I know? I'm not Mike Tomlin. I don't have a winning record, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So, done talking about the Steelers. Let's talk about my Green Bay Packers. They are entering the bye week with a 2-3 record. They're second in their in their division. And there's a lot to talk about this Packer team. First off, I'll know a lot more. I'm a Packer fan, so I know what's going on, ins and out. So far, as a Packer fan, this is kind of what I expected. You know, did I expect this to start 2-3? I kind of expect to start 4-1 because, you know, I believe that we could have beaten the Raiders. I believe we could have won all of our games. No, I didn't think we were going to be 4-1. I thought we were going to be 3-2. My bad. I kind of expected us. You know, my predictions with the Packers have been right so far besides the Raider game. You know, I expect us to lose to the Lions. I expect us to lose to the Falcons. But I didn't think that we would lose to the Raiders the way we did. And that really just opened a lot for me. That can be a sign of what's to come this season. You know, the Packers do not have an easy schedule after this bye. Yes, they got the Broncos, but after that, they're going to have the first teams like the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Vikings. I know the Vikings haven't been playing that well, but come on, we know that the Vikings got better talent, much more experience, and they are, I think, a better football team than the Packers. Will it be a close game? I think it will be a close game because of how the Vikings play down the competition, how they've been taking care of the ball this season, which has been pretty bad, and they don't have Jefferson, but that's still a toss-up game. Like I said, you got the Chiefs and Chargers, and you got to play the Lions again. You got to play the Buccaneers, and you know how good that defense is. You got a lot of games where this Packer team might lose a lot in a row, and it sucks, but it's just the reality of it. They got to go against the Rams. You know how good they've been playing. The Giants, they should beat. Panthers, they should beat. The Bears, I don't know. The Bears have looked better, but now Justin Fields here, I doubt he'll be out until January 7th. But the Bears have looked like a better team, and I don't believe the Packers would beat the same Bears that they are now. Because the Bears are playing much more better. They look like they're starting to get some chemistry on offense. The defense is starting to look like what they're supposed to be. And this Packers team is just frustrating because ever since week 1, it just seems like they're progressively getting worse and worse. Like they're making the same mental mistakes. They're trying to be too cute with all the play calls, all the trick plays. And Jordan Love has been very inconsistent. And not just within games, but also within halves. And it's really starting to become frustrating. You know, yes, do I think Jordan Love can be a starting quarterback in this league? I think he can. Do I think he can be a franchise or Hall of Famer? No. I don't think he is. Hell, he might change my mind at the end of the season. But right now, for what we see, it's been 5 games so far. And for what we witness and what we could comprehend right now, he just looks like an average backup quarterback. You know, kind of could come in and help you win a game. He won't do too much. But he just looks like a backup or a starting quarterback for a rebuilding team, and he doesn't look like the guy. Yes, he has shown flashes that he can take over and win a game. Yes, he has shown flashes that he can be very good, but just the way he's been versing each defense that gets better and better, and every time he forces plays sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't be conservative. That's good that he always wants to be aggressive, but sometimes there needs to be times where we need to be conservative. And when you force shit, we learned a lot of that from the Raider games. When you force shit, that's when that can be a big problem. Because when you force shit, defenses are obviously going to take advantage of that and intercept it. And that's what happened. He had 3 interceptions because he kept forcing shit. The one play where there were 3 Raiders on A.J. Dillon, obviously you want to throw it, but he tried to force it and he didn't see the linebacker, and that's what came to the interception. So you cannot do that. You cannot do that. And this Packer team has a lot of flaws right now. I get that they're the youngest team in the league, and there were going to be growing pains. I understand that. There's always going to be growing pains for every rebuilding team. But it's just frustrating, as a Packer fan. Because, yes, we're obviously used to winning. But, this team's got to play better. They got to look like they're growing together. We saw that growth when they beat the Saints and came back. That showed us that they learned their mistakes from the second half when they played the Falcons. But ever since then, I haven't seen any other sort of growth. I haven't seen any other sort of growth. They didn't grow from the Lions game where they're like, hey, we're playing good competition. We got to step up our game. We got to play smarter, all that. They did the same fucking mistakes. The defense played better. But come on. I don't like that, Joe Barry's still here. I'm not going to be on him for this week because he did do a good job against the Raiders. Davante Adams didn't really play that well. But, if the Packers season is abysmal, let's say they only get 4 wins, 3 wins. Let's say they get under 5 wins. I can see Joe Barry getting fired. I can see a lot of changes in coaching staff because these coaching staff have not been – no one's really been – pointing fingers at the coaching staff. I know some people have been pointing fingers at Joe Barry, but we also got to be starting to point fingers at the special teams unit. Last year, Keyshawn Nixon looked good. He looked like he can be one of the best returners specialists in the league. And now when you look at this season, he hasn't done shit. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't really impacted you in any way like he did last season when he came in. Rich Bisaccia, the fact that he said that we're still working on it. Why do you mean you're still working on it? It ain't preseason. It ain't the offseason. It ain't training camp. You're in the season. We're a quarter way through the NFL season, and you still don't have it figured out with the special teams unit. I got to see more special teams unit. Especially the special teams, one positive I would really say out of this Packer team within the 5 weeks is our kicker. I don't believe he missed a single kick yet. He's playing very good. Andrew Carlson, a good pick. I know he struggled a lot during training camp, but it's awesome to see that he was able to get through that growing pain, get better, and now I think we potentially found our franchise kicker. A kicker who will be with us for a long time. He's a good kicker. He can kick it far. He can kick it accurate, and I just like Andrew Carlson. There was a comment where he also learned that there's a certain way to kick in Lambeau Field, because the wind and environment, all that. And I like that he's learning. It's awesome to see a kicker who can learn, who can grow, and who can be good. And he's a very efficient. I don't believe he missed a single kick yet. And it's just awesome to see that. He's definitely been a positive in this team. And I think he's going to be a very good kicker in coming years. So I just like seeing that from Anders Carlson. Next up, though, let's go back to the coaching staff. What I need to see more is accountability from the coaching staff. Yes, we're getting the same mistakes over and over. But why is this team undisciplined? I get that they're young, but the coaching staff should be stressing discipline through this team. There should be we're getting a bunch of penalties the past couple of games. We look like we were unprepared against the Raiders. Dude, you almost had a bye week. You had a mini bye week, and we looked very unfucking prepared on offense. Matt LaFleur, what are we doing? All right? I honestly don't think he's that good of a coach. He's not. It seems like when we don't have our best players out there, like Aaron Jones, he doesn't know how to game plan. He doesn't know how to change things up, and it's really concerning because why are these things happening? We should be able to play better even if we don't have our best player. That's how it should be every time. Yes, we'll play worse, but we shouldn't be playing worse to the point that, shit, we really need him. Come on. And also, I have another question. Why did we play Aaron Jones and not utilize him against the Lions, but then now he's out? Is that an error with our medical staff or what's happening? Because that should not have happened. If he was not if he was not going to be utilized against the Lions, if he was going to be hurt again, what was the point of rushing him back? I know that it was a primetime game, it was a big division game, but you got to remember, it's early in the season. We can't be rushing these star players back just because and then not utilize them. We got to utilize him when he's on the field, and then what's the point? Like, that's something that really confused me. I don't get what's going on. Offensive line for the Packers have been playing very bad too. Very bad. They looked good in the first week, and then ever since then, you're like, oh, fuck. This line is actually not that good. Yes, Zach Tom is pretty good. I know we've been getting a lot of injuries on offensive line. David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, I know Zach Tom. But it doesn't look good. Our tackles look decent, but our center's been bad. Our guards have been bad, and it's just bad. Every time someone from the interior is getting to everywhere, even from the outside, it's just bad. And this offensive line is just bad. And a lot of guys are underperforming. They're playing terrible. I need to see more of them step up. And this might be a sign that we need to draft some linemen in this upcoming draft or sign some linemen, because this linemen have been terrible. They have been terrible with each defense that they've been versing. And I'm going to say this. There shouldn't be a reason why Max Crosby, the only good D-line that they fucking have right now for the Raiders, should be dominating the game like that. He's the one guy you have to worry about. Yes, he'll make a play here and there because that's how good he is. But if you have him just be able to just run right through and have a field day with Jordan Love, that's ridiculous. And I don't know what the hell they were game planning when they went up against Max Crosby. That was terrible. That was terrible. All right? That was fucking terrible. Now, the offensive line needs to improve. The coaching staff, I believe, need to improve when it comes to their play calling, when it comes to their personnel, how they prepare for a game. The past couple weeks now, with the Raiders and Lions, I've been hearing the same fucking thing. We gotta stop making the same mistakes. Why are y'all making the same mistakes? Mentally, it's ridiculous. None of these rookies, none of these players look like they're learning from the past 2 weeks, and it's just embarrassing. Like, learn and be accountable. Get on their asses. I don't care that they're young. I don't care that they need to learn. You need to tell them that, hey, this is the professionals. You either play good or you don't. And if you don't play good, I'm benching your ass. That's how it is. And that's the reality of it. Because when you're in the NFL, it's not, no, I'm just play you because you're older or you're young. I'm going to play you because you're fucking good and I see potential. Now, if you keep fucking up and you're not playing good, I'm going to bench your ass. We need to have those talks. We need to be able to push these players to get better. We need to be able to discipline them and help them learn. It doesn't look like these guys are getting disciplined at all, and it's really embarrassing. Special teams have been underwhelming. The offense has been very inconsistent, and the defense has been very frustrating, because when you see the talent on this defense, it should be honestly top 5, top 10. Just because how we have these talented guys like Kenny Clark, Quay Walker, DeRondre Campbell, Eric Stokes. I know he hasn't played much. I know he hasn't played yet. You got guys like Eric Stokes. Darnell Savage is pretty decent. You got Jair Alexander, Rasul Douglas. You got so many, Adrian Amos. You got so many guys who are good and talented, but this defense is just not there. It's just, I don't get it. And that's something that you go to Joe Barry about. Like, why aren't these guys playing to the highest potential? Because we know how good this defense could be. Next up, let's talk about this rookie team. Let's talk about this rookie class. I'm not gonna lie, so far this rookie class, I get that it's only year one. They could be really good within 4 to 5 years. They can be like the best fucking player in the league or one of the best players. But so far, this rookie class has been very disappointing. Very disappointing. Like I said, Anna Collerson has been very, very surprising. Very good. I love him. I think he was a great pick for the Packers. They needed a kicker. He's a great pick. Jaden Reed, I like him. He's pretty good. I don't know if he can be a superstar one day, but he's pretty good. He looks like he can be a very impactful player for a team when he's old, when he's much more experienced, and he just gives you those type of vibes. He reminds me, I don't know if people think of this, but he kind of reminds me of another Randall Cobb when he was with the Packers. He can make you those little plays, those big plays out of nowhere. He's very good. I think Jaden Reed has been a good pickup. Luke Musgrave, he's been okay. I don't really believe him that much. He was very hyped up in training camp. When I watched him on film in college, all that, I didn't really get why we drafted him. Yes, he is very he can play well in the pass game. He can catch, he can run pretty good. But I haven't really. He's been okay. Like he hasn't been like amazing. But again, he's a tight end. It's very hard for these tight ends to just pop out of the gate and be very good. So I'll see how he develops. But so far, I think he's okay. He's been okay. Tucker Kraft has been abysmal. I don't get what the hell's going on. He's not involved in the pass game. He's not out there that much. And when he is out there, he's not. He just looks lost. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, and it's very concerning. Hopefully he gets better and gets what he's doing. But so far, he doesn't look like he knows what the hell he's doing. He looks like a lost puppy out there. Like it's ridiculous. And then obviously we had guys like Lou Nichols got cut. I believe Grant DuBois got cut, if I'm wrong. I know someone that we drafted got cut. So I'm not even going to talk about those two. And then Wicks has been pretty good. He has shown, I think he should get more reps because he has shown flashes where he can be very good and can get open. When you watch him route run, it looks very crisp and nice. He looks like he could be a really good route runner, and I like that. Wicks has shown that he has flashes and could be pretty damn good. So I like that. I like that we're seeing that from Wicks. I don't know. Speaking of, before we finish rookie class, let's talk about Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs has been amazing. He's been amazing. He's definitely not the problem. He's been playing much more better. He's just kind of having a breakout year. A lot of people don't really notice this. Right now he's tying the league with touchdowns. He has had a breakout year so far. He's playing very good football. He looks like he could be a very good like a number 2, number 1 option on a team. I don't know about number 1, actually. I meant to go back. But he does look like he can be a solid number 2 option on a winning team. Like, he's very good. I don't think people realize that. Romeo Doubs is a very good player. Like, he's playing very well this season. And it's awesome to see that he's developing like that. Now, back to the rookies. Like I said, Wicks looks pretty good. Tucker Kraft looks, like, what are we doing here? I don't know what the hell we're doing here. And then we have guys like Anthony Johnson Jr., who hasn't really had any playing time yet. Lucas Van Ness, to me, yes, I know he's another project pick like they did with Rashawn Gary. I get what they're trying to do, like do another Rashawn Gary. But so far, when you look at this kid, he just looks okay. Like, he hasn't really done anything. He hasn't really gotten that much pressures. I know he was able to get, like, 1 sack against the Bears. Like, he's been okay. And yes, I get that this guy's going to be a long project, but Lucas Van Ness, you're a number 1 pick. You got to be playing up to it or be showing a lot more potential. You have not been playing like your number 1 pick. You're playing like you're a 3rd round or 4th round pick. You got to play like where you're drafted. And I know that's unfair to say because the Packers picked him with this pick, and he probably wasn't even supposed to be picked in the 1st round, to be honest. But you got to live up to that, and you got to play better. He has not been that impactful, to be honest, and you got to bring that. Like, you got to be some sort of impactful. We drafted you for a reason. You got to play better, Lucas. You're not getting in that much pressure. You're not getting that much sacks. You're not getting that much tackles. You need to get there and play much better, Lucas, okay? You need to play much better. So I need to just see that from you. But like I said, he's a project, and we'll see how he does in the long run. Now, Colby Wooden, he's been okay. I think Colby Wooden's been okay. The only thing with him is that I do see him get confused sometimes when he goes in the gaps. He does get overpowered at times, and I think that's just something that he'll learn. I do believe he can be a solid player in this league. I don't think he's a bad pick, but I definitely think there are times when you're like, he does need to hit the gym a bit more. He does need to, not look a little lost with his gap assignment. But other than that, though, I think Colby Wooden is a pretty decent player. He's definitely gotten some pressures. He definitely did some good things. And I just think Colby Wooden could be something good. Not great, not amazing. So, he's been an okay pick. Shane Clifford, I can't really say much about him. He's a backup. We got to see more of the backup. He's kind of you can't really grade him yet. The one time we did see him, he did look not that good. But we'll see later down the road how his career turns out, if he becomes a starter, a backup, or journeyman. We'll see how it goes because there's so many QBs in this league. Next up, Carl Brooks. I like Carl Brooks. I think he's a good pick. I think he can honestly be a Pro Bowl talent, and that's a big claim for me to say. But the way you watch him play, yes, there are times, like I said, he can get a bit overpowered. He played for a smaller school. He can, but there are times when you can just notice it. I believe he batted a pass down. He's getting to the pressure. There are just times where he's just getting there and getting pressure on the quarterback. There are times where he's just getting in the backfield, and I like that he's just getting in the backfield. It's awesome to see that he's playing. He's definitely not. He's definitely kind of hyped up what he was in college. He's playing very good. There's potential that this Karl Brooks dude can be very good in the upcoming years. Very good. He's just showing flashes, and awareness. There are times, like I said, same with Kobe Wooden. I think it's more with Karl Brooks than it is with Wooden, though. He does get much more overpowered. He just needs to hit the weight room a little bit. He does get much more overpowered. And that's something, that's just comes with it. When these rookie D linemen and offensive linemen come in, it can sometimes be hard physically. I know it's said a lot with mentally, but I think with more of lineman wise, it's definitely more physical than mentally too, because a lot of these big dudes are fucking heat, like 300, 280, 350 pound dudes who are fucking built as fuck. Like, they're huge. And let's say this. You're a rookie offensive lineman. Let's say you're a center. You're going up against fucking Aaron Donald your first game. You think that rookie going to do good? Hell no. If he does, that's amazing. But hell no. That's going to be an ass whooping in welcome to the NFL moment. But right now, Karl Brooks looks like a good player. I like him a lot. I think he has a big potential. Hopefully it goes out like I think it will. But I think Karl Brooks can be a very good player. Carrington Valentine, he's been okay. He hasn't been great. I haven't really seen much where I can say, like, oh, he can be very good. There are times that he has shown that he can be a good corner. But so far, I just need to see more of him, and it's just okay. He's just okay. And I believe that's all for the Packer rookie class. When I have to grade the rookie class, I give it like a D plus or a C minus, just because there's so many guys. There's been 13 guys that they drafted, and then the only notable ones I can really say right now, like the only ones who I really think are who deserve to be notable, is obviously Andrew Carlson, Karl Brooks, and Jaden Reed. A lot of people are gonna say, what about Luke Musgrave and Lucas Van Ness? Luke Musgrave and Luke Van Ness, they've been okay, but I haven't believed that these guys, like those three that I just mentioned, I believe they can be pretty good in the NFL and actually stay in a while in the NFL. But there's just too many disappointments, and I get that it's only year one, but it's just sad to know that we drafted so many guys, and a lot of you guys are not really impacting, because look how young this team is. I should believe like 10 out of 13, or 8 out of 13 of these guys should be playing much more, and a lot of them aren't. So it just sucks. Hopefully things will get better for the Packers, but right now things I think that they need to improve on is they need to see better development from their young guys, more discipline. The coaching staff got to stop. They got prepared better. They got game plan better. And Jordan Love's got to stop. The offense and Jordan Love's got to stop playing inconsistent. Here's another thing I noticed, too. They got to score in the first half. They cannot be that sloppy in the first half. And that's just something they just need to learn. Offense needs to pick up things. Defense has got to keep playing good football. And it's just, you don't know with this Packer team. It's either they're going to get it right, or it's like taking a shot in the dark. You don't know what the hell they're going to do. So we'll see more. We'll talk about more about Packers along down the road after this bye. But that's all I got for today. And if we got to talk about their performance so far for the Steelers and Packers, what we would grade them. Steelers, I give it a C. They're not doing terrible. They're not doing bad. Their defense has been really fucking amazing, but it's an offense that's kind of holding back. Packers, I give them a C as well, because it's kind of what you're expected. It's, is underwhelming, but both of these teams are kind of what you expected at their bye. So that's all I have to talk about. We'll talk about more as the weeks go on, as the days go on, and as always, go Pack Go. And I'll talk to you later and see you on the next video.